many more options than you have on Caitlyn. On Caitlyn, she's got such long auto attack range that if you want to win by CS, you can do it that way. If you want to win by just shoving the wave in and getting turret damage down, definitely a viable win condition. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Solo King, a Korean 1v1 tournament, of course, broadcast here on Azubu TV. My name is Rapid, and I'm excited to bring you game number 2 between Gank by Mom, who's actually up 1-0 versus Faker in this best of 3 series. Now, Faker bringing out the Karthus, a champion we haven't really seen a lot here in the Solo King, primarily just because there are so many other champions to go to. So when Faker picks it, you know he's got something good in mind. And the idea with Karthus here is that he's going to be able to probably just go for that CS win versus GBM. You're probably not looking for too many champion kills. Might be able to take down turrets if you can shove the wave quickly enough while GBM is back in base. But if you look at the summoner spells too, there's a big difference. It's teleport exhaust for Faker, whereas GBM is going for the teleport flash. That does mean if Faker is ever, in a close range 1v1 kind of combat, not only does that mean that Caitlyn's going to deal less damage to him, less attack speed too, it means that it's easier to hit those Skittles when they land. So GBM starting out with a 4-potion start along with the Crystalline Flask, waiting in base for that extra 10 gold to pick up an extra potion, whereas Faker is just going straight up Doran's Ring. Does not care about getting that Crystalline Flask value, he is just going to sit in lane, get done. Now waiting off to the side just to make sure he's not being flanked. I believe it was Zephyr who actually came up with this really weird strategy where you, as an AD carry, you walk around the corner and get off several free auto attacks in lane just to sort of establish that lane dominance. But let's see what Faker has to say is Karthus versus Caitlyn. Lane phase is underway. So in the early lane phase, there's probably not all that much this is going to be very impactful. GBM throws the minion wave both right outside his turret range, and look at that damage back down onto Faker. Even hits him with that Pilter for Peacemaker too. But it's still keeping his CS up. So very, very well done there by Gank by Mom. Talking to the admins, you can see there's actually 2 champions in the game right now, Chuds and Shu. Tweeted at Chudnator, who almost killed Faker after he won his 1v1 matchup. He teleported mid and tried to kill him immediately, but the game actually ended before he could do it. So this time around, Chuds told me that regardless of who wins, as soon as the game is over, he is teleporting mid and trying to kill Faker just so that he can, put that on a plaque, put it up on his mantle or wherever you put plaques that you killed Faker. We'll see how successful he is, and of course how successful Gank by Mom is, as he has shoved the wave now back into Faker's turret. It's going to bounce himself off, and Faker actually able to hit most of the CS, should be. And misses 2 of them, I believe, but has been able to kill every single other one. CSing under turret is Karthus, definitely something you need to put in your resume if you're going to be playing the champion, because you should be under there fairly often. Doing a little bit of a better job at dodging those Filter for Peacemakers, but I mean GBM's just in full control of the lane. When you, why you pick Karthus versus a Caitlyn when you're just going to be playing this very defensive matchup? It's not something that's going to go his way in the early game at least, but if there has ever been a hashtag things Faker does, it is come back from situations you don't necessarily expect him to, but at least for the time being, he is down about 5 CS. Going to be down some HP as well on his turret as that minion wave pushes in. Although not that big a CS differential. It's only 3 CS. So crisis averted, guys. It's only 3 CS. Lane phase continues. Caitlyn trap starting to be dropped out there. Exciting CSing. This is going to be one of the most action-packed matchups you've ever seen. It's not like it's LeBlanc versus LeBlanc or Lee Sin versus Lee Sin. It's Caitlyn versus Karthus. I don't know if you guys saw on Steam sale, Farm Simulator 2015. You get a little bit of a preview. This is them playing the demo of that game right here. It's I would be very surprised if this ends in anything other than a CS war. Maybe turret kill if Gank by Mom can put enough pressure onto Faker, but something tells me Faker's going to be struggling just a little bit. Actually not letting that wave hit his turret. Doing a good job at CSing away from there. Has put 3 points into Q and then 1 into everything else. So has put a point into Wall of Pain, which is kind of interesting, considering that that skill won't be actually very useful until he's either looking to kill a gank by Mom by slowing him out and reducing his magic resistance. Might be using it defensively too if GBM decides to position a little bit too aggressively in lane. Look at those Qs, every single one of them hitting onto GBM when they're meant to. See if we can hit this one. Oh, actually misses one. Probably could have hit all 3, but I'm gonna go with the sure thing. And where's that Pilt over Peacemaker to stop him from going back to base? And there it goes. Not actually all that sure Karthus was going back, but Faker, he's in there. Won't be able to CS all of these with Qs just because he is actually out of mana at this point. So get as much of that back as he can, but yeah, completely dry in the mana department. Makes a trip back to base, a full, what is that, 8 CS behind gank by Mom. That is almost a 10 CS differential that you need to win the game. And in case you guys are just tuning in, how do you win a 1v1? You either take the guy's turret, kill him, or kill 100 CS with a 10 CS advantage over your lane opponent. Immediate ace in the hole as soon as Faker gets back to lane. I want to see Faker like back off and use Requiem just to kind of send the same message. However, there is a somewhat longer cooldown on Requiem than ace in the hole. Oh man, there's the Wall of Pain. GBM doesn't actually run into it. And of course, Faker avoiding those Yordle snap traps as they get placed in lane as well. Now, the biggest problem for Faker to watch out now is probably just Pilt over Peacemakers hitting him, and of course keeping up that CS. It's 4 Doran's rings versus 3 Doran's blades. Which Doran's will I take? It's one more, but at the same time a little bit less sustained there. Faker stepping on one of those Yordle snap traps. Not necessarily you know, the best option. There's the Requiem. Just gonna use that like the Pilt or like the ace in the hole. Get down some free damage. He's actually placing those Q's a little bit behind there. Tries to predict the 90 caliber net backwards, but does not quite have that down. Now for late waste, the double damage is actually going to be fairly accessible for Faker if he wants to go for putting that on to gank by Mom. With pushing up this wave, yeah, he's going to miss one, and oh, this might actually be some serious damage. GBM walking forward, but walking right into these Qs. Faker, how well can he predict them? Not well enough, and he'll take that Caitlyn combo back towards her turret. GBM's out successfully, but Faker down to up to his last 400 HP. Of course, keep in mind the difference in Doran's items offensively is actually the difference in sustain. GBM has that crystalline flask instead. Faker pushed all the way back. Whoa, there's the wait. What? GBM just flashed towards his turret to stop Faker from going back. I think he's trying to say, look, I'm going to get such a huge CS advantage off of you going back to base. With teleport down specifically, that's the big deal. Faker is actually going to have to walk all the way back to the lane, and I think Gank by Mom is actually going to win this. He's up a total of 16 CS. Faker's losing minions to his turret, and unless he actually kills GBM when he comes back to lane, slow and steady wins the race. And oh, a pickaxe. Actually, the buy there for Gank by Mom. No more Doran's items for him. Wants to be slot effective and just grab some extra AD. 25 picked up in that pickaxe, and Faker is trying to shove this wave as quickly as he can. No TP for GBM either, so now this is Faker's turn to deny some CS, but have to deny several waves to get himself back in that CS game. Now he's only down about 8 at this point, so he won't lose necessarily if we hit the 100-100 mark. Only 10 away, but look at those Skittles. Death or lay waste underneath turret. And a few of those on a GBM. Every CS matters, narrowly sort of balancing on that 10 CS advantage. Pushing forward, play waves, there's Wall of Pain. 90 caliber net through it. Should be able to hit every single one of these. By placing that lay waste right on the tower, it's really difficult for GBM to try to kite around the turret and still avoid those. Whoa, Faker hitting a couple of those. Needs to make sure to keep the CS up, otherwise it's 2 CS and GBM wins the game. So there is the exhaust, immediate 90 caliber back towards the turret. Faker trying to hit it, and there's the 10 CS advantage. Jen Air Green Wings flying the glad plane today as Ganked by Mom takes a 2-0 victory over Faker and eliminates him from the Solo King.